This is May 7th, just a quick video update showing the stream. That's the bridge that I built last year with my good friend, college friend that lives in town. He's hero to millions, champion to many. We built that bridge out of some scrap, just junk I had laying around. Still holding up, which is looking pretty good. I'm gonna throw a coat of paint on it this year and maybe put a hand railing on it. It's not the final bridge, it's just temporary, so I can get to the other side of the stream where my property runs to where that rock wall is. But this is an example of one of the trees that fell in a windstorm. And it doesn't really do it justice on camera, but right there where the fattest part of the trunk is, that's easily 3 feet across, maybe more than 3 feet, 3.5 foot across in diameter. That's a lot of mass for a tree, and I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to get it out of there. My current best plan is to somehow hook on a lot of chain to this end and try to pick that up with my tractor, but again, this doesn't do it justice on camera. From this angle down here at the bottom, that's 5 or 6 feet across, where I can now see it from the edge of the stump to the far end of the trunk hollow. So hopefully it's really, really hollow, so it's light, and I can actually get onto it with a chain and try to drag it up here, but I don't know if that's going to work. I don't really have a good angle to pull anything through here, so this could just, I don't know, this is going to be a challenge. We'll figure that one out. Anyway, another random drive-by just because I'm out here working on stuff I can see. I've got some fence repair to do across the stream on the electric fence. The pieces I couldn't quite do right when I was here the other day. I needed a couple more fittings that finally came in, but just wanted to show this is my little waterfall. It's quite pleasant the way it cascades. Yeah, that's your moment of zen. Stay healthy, everybody. Welcome back, YouTube. I thought I would just take a quick video of something I did last weekend. These planter beds you see, I built cheap and cheerful out of leftover scrap wood. That wood was used to form the concrete planter beds that are the formal planter beds in front of the house, which will eventually hold trees or something of that nature. And these were the material they used for the forms, and it was, it's not pressure treated, but it's pretty thick lumber, and it's pretty sturdy. So I figure I'll get a year or two out of this for a test pilot for some berry beds, just to make sure the locations are good, and to make sure that the soil I'm putting in the beds is suitable. So I pretty much built the beds. It took me a couple of hours to put them together. Rough and ready construction, nothing fancy. As you can see, I broke out string line. I don't know if you can see that on camera, the orange line, to get them nice and straight. Measured off the orchard row coming this way, more or less measured off the stone wall. A little difficult because it's not a perfectly straight stone wall. So my next step on the planter beds is to dig around the perimeter of them and shim them up to get them level, or level-ish, because there's a slope to the property, so I kind of want to just maintain that, or something close. And yeah, I've already went down here, and I'll just show you what I got started. Just for documentation purposes, I initially healed these plants in a couple days ago in one of the planter beds, just so they would not be stuck in packing materials. And here we go. So yeah, it's a whole bunch of plants, and I'm gonna have to put a cage or a fence up around this thing for the time being, for sure. But we have gooseberries, red currants, black currants, jostaberries, honeyberries, Saskatoon berries, and mulberries. And I think I might be missing one, but that's what we got here. So it's 6 per row, 7 rows, so well over 40 plants that I put in. These came from I believe Kearney's nursery, I believe is where they came from. I'll have to check, not quite sure, but they came individually bagged and labeled, which I kept. I just kind of put rocks and stuff over the labels so I could tell what they were in the future, because I need to transplant them. The idea is that they will not all live in this bed. The idea is that each species will get its own dedicated bed. So I still have a couple of more beds to build, and as soon as I finish that, leveling them up and getting them filled with soil, I'll slowly take them and put them in proper spacings in this row with the proper netting around the corners to keep deer off them for at least, you know, the first several years of their lives until they're established. That's the plan. And they come individually bagged, like I said, but also wrapped in this coconut husk fiber or whatever this is to keep the roots moist. So that was kind of nice. And yeah, so that's just a quick update. I'm going to throw some mulch down over this just to temporarily keep the moisture in, although it's been incredibly rainy. And hopefully this will do well, and I can get the rest of these beds, you know, made pretty soon. And small detail about a giant pile of rock in the way down there where I want to put a couple more beds, but I'll see about sorting that out in about 2 weeks anyway. Okay, thanks for the update and the interest in the berry patch.